Your cult boyfriend here. Um, I didn't have anything better to do, honestly, so that's why we're having this video here. I also feel like it's been a little while since I said some controversial shit. So I decided to type in best films ever, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on these beloved films that Google, in their effortless, ageless wisdom, believes are the best films ever made. These ones right here. We're gonna start at the top. I mean, it could be surprising. I might love every one of these movies. I might be really boring. This might have been a terrible idea for a video, but I already see some that I hate, so no big deal. I probably just think that your favorite movie is terrible and that you're dumb for liking it. This is coming from a guy who thinks that House on Haunted Hill and I Know What You Did Last Summer are among the finest of cinema. But let's start. Let's start. Let's just get into it, man. I don't hate all of these. I'm not just gonna be an arrogant prick. I'm gonna be arrogant, but hopefully not a prick about it. Let's see. The Dark Knight. Is The Dark Knight overrated? What is my question even? I don't fucking know. I had a few drinks tonight, and this didn't seem like a terrible idea. It will, though, as we get further down and my patience starts to wear thin. The Dark Knight's a good movie. Whoa, like, brace yourselves, bro, for these fucking hot takes I'm slamming down, dude. The Dark Knight's good. I can't believe your cult boyfriend just said that. It's crazy, dude. No, The Dark Knight's good. It might still be my favorite superhero movie ever made, but I don't know. I don't care about that genre enough to remember which ones are my favorites. I know I like The Dark Knight and Logan, and I don't like superhero movies, dude. I don't fucking know. If Underworld were an actual superhero movie, Underworld would be my favorite one. That's because I'm still high off the fumes of Kate Beckinsale bros. Anyways, Parasite. I fucking hated Parasite. I thought it was terrible. I thought the metaphors were so loud that it was deafening, and I thought it was just like embarrassingly shallow. Inception is also bad. Inception's a bad movie. I don't like Inception. You know all of these complaints. There are complaints that have been around since the film's been around. I'm old enough to remember IMDb message boards that I'm getting like war flashbacks from them right now, to be honest. Uh, Inception and Nolanites and all that bullshit. And Inception's just bad. It's like someone gave Christopher Nolan a vast blank canvas worth millions of dollars to do whatever he wanted to do within it, and Christopher Nolan just kind of demonstrates that he doesn't really possess much imaginative qualities. It's a film about dreams that is so incredibly fucking boring that I wonder if Christopher Nolan has ever actually dreamt before. Get Out. Um, haven't seen it. I haven't seen Get Out. I saw Us, and I thought Us was very good. So, I mean, I hear that Get Out's better. So it's probably good. Jordan Peele seems like a pretty good filmmaker. The Shawshank Redemption is currently the most overrated American film of the 90s. It's fucking terrible. It's awful. It's bullshit. Like Stephen King fucking hogwash, dude. I fucking hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Dripping with the sentimentality that I want to strangle. I hate The Shawshank Redemption. I have no idea why people love that film so much. I am half convinced it has to do with like that time. I forget exactly like the body politic of what actually happened with the IMDb like top 250 boards when bros were trying to get The Dark Knight at number one. So they were like downvoting The Godfather by upvoting Shawshank Redemption. Like they had a plan worked out, but it didn't fucking work. It just made Shawshank Redemption go to number one. Shawshank Redemption has this huge reputation, this like enormous esteem among not just film communities, but all communities somehow now. Like, fuck that movie. That movie is so bad. Honestly, The Shawshank Redemption is one of your favorite films. I know that we'll never get along. We never will get along. The Shawshank Redemption is one of the most overwrought and cookie cutter fucking movies I've ever seen. Stephen King's awesome when he's not being some sort of like hokey fucking moralist. Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, um, fuck off. Fuck off. Get that shit out of my face. Moonlight, I have never seen. I feel like I can go either way on Moonlight, probably. I've just never seen it. I probably won't ever see it though. I'm not really into like newer movies, even though that movie is probably not new anymore. I'm just a fucking boomer at this point. Schindler's List is awful. Well, okay, awful might be a really, really strong word because Ray Fiennes delivers an incredible performance, and Beth Davidtz also is extremely sensitive and like kind of heartbreaking in the film. I take umbrage with the film itself. I think that it's exploitative. I think that it is like the fascist gaze, right? I don't believe that Spielberg has good intentions with the film. I think that Terry Gilliam quoting Stanley Kubrick offered the best criticism of the film that's possible, which is the Holocaust was about human failure, and Schindler's List is a film about success, and that's what's wrong with it. And I would agree. I just don't even think that's just what's wrong with it. I think that's ultimately unforgivably wrong. Pulp Fiction is fucking amazing. Pulp Fiction rules. Quentin Tarantino is a very good director, and Pulp Fiction is one of the greatest postmodern masterpieces of all time. It's one of the best films of the 90s. A lot of cinephiles are like too cool for QT these days, which is fine, whatever. You're gonna get really, really worn out trying to act all cool and shit. Pulp Fiction's great. I don't really buy people who don't like it. It's wonderful. It's like I said, a brilliant postmodern film. Probably the most brilliantly accessible postmodern film, and by that extent, it's also the most like radical American film of the 90s. It has the capability of hot wiring an entire audience, and it did, and I think it continues to do so with new generations over the years. And then already covered those two. See, like Shawshank Redemption and Schindler's List, I fucking hate those movies, and there they are again. 12 Years a Slave, did not see. Maybe it's good. I don't know. I'll probably never watch that either. If I sound arrogant by saying I'll probably never watch the film, I'm not. I, if you like these movies, even the ones that I hate, it's fine, except for the Shawshank Redemption. You should really reevaluate your life decisions. But 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight and what Get Out and stuff, I'm sure those are good. I just haven't seen them. Oh boy. Fuck. Well, this makes me look really bad. So I haven't seen like the three movies so far that have been made by directors of color. God, well, it's not my fault. They're not based enough to have like a Spike Lee film on this list, or I don't even see an Almodovar film on here. I don't see fucking Iñárritu on here. I don't see it. This is fucking bullshit, man. This makes me look like a terrible fucking person. What? Okay. Fine, Google, do me like that. That's some bullshit. What the fuck ever, dude. I'm sure that this next film won't make me seem much better. 12 Angry Men is fucking terrible. Sidney Lumet is a terrible director. He doesn't have a style. He is terrible at composition. He's awful. It's just an adaptation of a play. I know what you're saying. Well, what else should it be? It's a wonderful adaptation. No, it doesn't fucking justify its adaptation. Just see the fucking play. You'll get the same exact experience. You're supposed to get an elevated experience from film, or at least a different sort of one. Like Dog Day Afternoon, I fucking love that movie. Not for anything Sidney Lumet does, only because in that film all he had to do was put the camera on Al Pacino and John Cazale. That's all he fucking had to do. He didn't have to compose anything. In fact, when he gets to compose in Dog Day Afternoon, he does that terrible fucking like Elton John song over like really artless shots of just boring fucking city life. I don't know. Sidney Lumet is not a good director. Not a good director. He's not. You can't convince me that he's good. He's not good at all. Taxi Driver. Martin Scorsese film. I've never seen it. So I'm just fucking kidding. I've seen Taxi Driver. It's fantastic. It's great. What do you want me to say about that? It's beautiful. Fight Club by David Fincher is another good movie. A Clockwork Orange is a fantastic film by Kubrick. I've actually covered that on the channel. I think I've covered a couple of these on the channel. The Silence of the Lambs is also great. Great Jonathan Demme film. Yeah, really like Silence of the Lambs. Check out my homie Style is Substance. They have a video about Silence of the Lambs. It's not too bad. It's okay, for a Style is Substance video. It's all right. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I don't like the Lord of the Rings, but I think Peter Jackson is a good filmmaker. I think it's a well put together film. That's a circumstance where I don't like the story or the lore or anything, but I am kind of impressed by Peter Jackson's abilities demonstrated in that film. He has a cool craft to him. So I mean, Fellowship of the Ring is fine. I don't like it for the most superficial reasons possible, which is I don't like the source material, therefore I don't like the narrative or the characters and stuff like that. But as a film, the process is really interesting, and Peter Jackson was super committed, and I kind of have a soft spot for Peter Jackson, so I'll let that one slide. Raiders of the Lost Ark is a pretty decent Spielberg film. Who didn't grow up with Raiders of the Lost Ark? It's hard. That's my thing because E.T.'s next anyway, which E.T. is my favorite Spielberg film, and I still think E.T. is legitimately good. Well, these are all fucking Spielberg. So Jurassic Park is after that, and then Jaws is after that. I would say that all four of these movies are pretty good, with E.T. being the best out of the four. But here's my problem with Spielberg as well. The only Spielberg films I like are ones that I was first introduced to as a child, maybe even as an infant. So, and I don't trust that kind of sensibility. It's impossible to remove nostalgia from an artistic experience. It's impossible. You can try to do it, view things more objectively, but you can't. It's fucking impossible. So, like, I can't trust if Jurassic Park is great or not because uh, film is one of the most powerful mediums on the planet. It stirs something inside of me that I can't separate. And also, you don't want to dull that feeling because everyone's unique experience with a film adds to the discourse. Art is collaborative. Even commercial art like Spielberg's, it's collaborative. Your experience with it, your relationship with it over the years makes it stronger. But I wish that there was a single film that he made that I saw as an adult that I felt anything for. There's nothing. So he might be like the best children's filmmaker of all time. I don't know though. Back to the Future, I've honestly never watched. It's been a blind spot for a really long time. I've never seen Back to the Future, but I grew up on a steady diet of Cracked articles and like Mad Magazine, so I know everything that happens in every Back to the Future movie. Like I can probably relay to you the entire plot of each film in the franchise, but I've never seen it. I don't really think I'm missing much, but like at this point, I don't want to see it because it's becoming a thing. Like that's the biggest movie that I've never seen, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't wanna it's not like a void, don't need to fill it, I just haven't seen Back to the Future, no big deal. The Wizard of Oz is cool, it's cool. Selznick is really interesting. Why, though? Why did I type in best films ever, and I didn't get Gone with the Wind for talking about David O. Selznick? That's a sad reminder of our day and age. Star Wars: A New Hope is the only Star Wars film I like. I don't like Star Wars. I'm not into it at all. Was never really bitten by that sort of nerd fuck ass bug. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But A New Hope is really good. It's a great movie. That's something where like watch it, but and I can remove myself so far from the lore that I have no nostalgia for it anyway because I didn't connect to it as a kid. Watch it and then imagine you're seeing all that shit for the first time, and it's mind-blowingly imaginative. It's lovely. a nice little examination of, the hero's journey of Campbellian logic in a filmic sort of context. It's cool, I'm sure there's a, a countless amount of videos on YouTube that can explain to you exactly why it's cool, but I don't care enough. And there's Moonlight again, fucking staring me down. Um, dude, this list makes me look so fucking bad. And there's Pulp Fiction. See, that makes me look really bad. Like I haven't seen Moonlight, but Pulp Fiction. Fucking film bros are alive and well, and you're staring at one. Good Will Hunting. I wish I've talked about Gus Van Sant more on the channel. I did cover My Own Private Idaho, which is an incredible film that means an awful lot to me. It defined a large part of my youth. I love My Own Private Idaho, and like Drugstore Cowboy is another one that I think is a masterpiece. Good Will Hunting, I think, is like a bit of a sanitized approach from Gus Van Sant. I almost find it difficult to view it as a Gus Van Sant film. It's a Ben Affleck and Matt Damon film, which isn't a complete loss. It is a good film that I think provides some very interesting commentary about class stratification, about the hypocrisy of intellectual communities, the impossibility of education in an alienated world. Good Will Hunting does provide some very interesting ideas, and it is photographed in a wonderful way. The performances are really what drive it home. I still think one of the most touching moments in 90s cinema is when Ben Affleck's character is telling Matt Damon's, like, dude, if you're still here in 10 years, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. Get the fuck out of here. And then you get payoff from that scene at the very end of the movie where he doesn't come to the door when he's gone. Didn't even say goodbye. But that smile, it's a perfect moment. So good on you, Ben and Matt. Not so much Gus. Great Elliott Smith soundtrack though. Holy shit. Elliott Smith, now that is an icon of my teenage years, for sure. Citizen Kane is not overrated. Citizen Kane is a beautiful and incredible film that is still stunning to me. I can't say anything bad about Citizen Kane. It's astonishing. No Country for Old Men is an exquisite film. It's very good. Love it. I saw it like 3 times in theaters when it came out. Javier Bardem's performance really captivated me. Fucking amazing. A Streetcar Named Desire, yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's one of the most important films ever made. I think that two films came out in 1951 that completely changed the world, and it changed the world through acting because the old, I wouldn't say pantomime, but the old, more contrived ideal, the more theatrical ideal of acting, method of acting was dying, which is personified really well in A Streetcar Named Desire by Vivian Lee's performance, who is incredible and gorgeous and a great actor, but she comes from that more theatrical, more deliberate school. But A Streetcar Named Desire, of course, we're looking at Marlon Brando right now, king of the authentic acting. Uh, the other film that came out that same year that did just as much to change the course of acting was A Place in the Sun with Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift. And Montgomery Clift brought the same sort of authenticity, the same sort of unexpected, incredibly tender and sensitive authenticity, the same method that Brando brought to A Streetcar Named Desire, Clift brought to A Place in the Sun. And whereas Brando would be a lot more bombastic, a lot more masculine, a lot more unpredictably violent and cruel and loud, which is totally valid. And Brando's one of the best actors ever, but so is Montgomery Clift. Only Clift's approach to authenticity was really quiet, tender, sensitive, troubled, and both equally demented in their own ways. Those are really cool movies. By the way, neither of them won the Oscar that year, so that should entirely invalidate the Academy on all fronts. They can't tell when what way the wind is blowing. They're fucking idiots. There Will Be Blood, like No Country for Old Men. I saw that in theaters a bunch of times too. It's a great film. Wonderful film. Uh, yeah, it's dope. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now that's one of the best films ever made. Has probably the greatest screen villain ever committed to film in Louise Fletcher's Nurse Ratched. One of the best villains I've ever seen. I think my very first YouTube video was about Nurse Ratched and her inhumanity, her cruelty, her coldness, her viciousness. And then we get this section of fantasy movies, which mostly all suck except for Pan's Labyrinth, King Kong, The Shining. I've already talked about Oz. Oh, I guess New Hope. And I guess I gave Lord of the Rings a free pass. Oh, there's that anime piece of shit. Yeah, all anime movies suck. But we all know that because we're cool over here, right? Wow, that feels like a really fucking pointless video. Feels like all that video is gonna do is stir up bullshit. I'm glad you watched it. In the comments, tell me why you hate me now. Thank you for watching your cult boyfriend. My name is Zach. Have a good one.